Well, hello there, chums. This is I, Captain Steve, and I'm reviewing Valhalla on the PS4. So this is the box standard PS4. No Pro, no nothing like that. This is the antique PS4. And I must say, first off and foremost, this game looks amazing. It really does. I mean, we're at the end of the generation, and all the games at the end of each generation look amazing. But this rivals the likes of Red Dead. There's my lovely looking Viking in this lovely looking game. Heck yes, what a handsome chappy he is. I went for somebody to look like Floki from Vikings. And yet, I really do like how they've brought this sort of landscape together. It's beautiful. The game is amazing, and the fact that you've got camera mode makes it even more so amazing. So I'm going to start on all the things that I actually really like about this game and what makes it pretty much perhaps worth its buy, but we get to that towards the end. So here we go. Camera mode, brilliant, love it. The actual death scenes, like executions, the fact you can dismember people, and the fact you can turn all these options on or off as well is really cool. There you go, take that, you scallywags! You saw there, I've got the blade on there from like the Assassin's Creed series. So there's little nods to the Assassin's Creed series, not that I've ever played any of the Assassin's games, this is the first one I've played. And I'm liking all the little mini-games. The mini-games are fantastic. This dice game, oh, I wish it was on my mobile phone. It'd be really cool, especially if they added like extra sort of mechanics where you wriggle your phone or something and it roll the dice and stuff. They could make this into a phone game that you could pay a tenner for, and it's brilliant. This, I really enjoyed the dice game. The dice game's great, and also there's another one where you do these sort of like sketches with people, so it's almost like rhymes. They sort of say something and then you have to say your sort of answer and make it rhyme and match. It's quite cool. And yeah, I really like that. There's also a drinking game where you got to outdrink this lady, but she can drink like a freaking fish. Yeah, and you're down in like horns of ale, which is really, really cool. So the little mini games, the side quests are all quite cool. I actually helped one guy throw all of his possessions off a cliff, and then he went and joined them by jumping off the cliff. Freaking bonkers! But it made me chuckle. It really did. And the actual interactions with the NPCs is really good. Think of the sort of series of Vikings. They've nailed that. They really have. The character building is quite nice. Now, right at the start, you find out that your mother and father get killed in front of you, basically. And not so far into the actual game, you take vengeance for their killing, basically. That guy that I was fighting earlier, the guy that you saw me pow, he was the guy. I got my vengeance within like the first couple of hours of play. But yeah, there's lots of things to find, like little rooms that are hidden underground and stuff, and things that you have to do to try and find them, and little puzzles, which are quite cool, but some of them are tedious as hell, and there's hardly any sort of hints as to what you need to do to actually complete those. None of the NPCs in the area tell you anything. Sometimes you might find a note on the table that's a little bit obscure or something, but yeah. The skill up system is quite nice. I love the skill up system, and there's a tree that you can sort of navigate around and put all your skill points where you want them to go. So you can either go for distance, you can go for melee, you can go for stealth, and I went for the melee route. But as you sort of go through the melee route, you kind of think, okay, yeah, there's those little clusters. No, once you open one cluster, it opens up another cluster, and that cluster goes somewhere else. And there's a cluster fudge of clusters. There really is. There's a heck of a lot of things that you can unlock. And there was like one in there that just said, if you're wearing bear skins, you get plus X strength or blah, blah, blah. I haven't come across a bear yet, but they're probably in there somewhere. But what do? Drop kick a bear in the frickin' face? Who knows? Or do you just find a tailor that has bear skins? Not sure. Didn't come across any bears or bear skins as I was playing, so I didn't get that far, to be fair. Anyhow, so there's a lot of stuff that I like. The skill tree I love, the little finding quirks I love. Once you actually find a tattoo shop, you can customize your Viking. Pimp up your Viking. Heck yes. So there's a lot of options in there. When I say a lot, there's not like you can't face sculpt or anything like that. Not that I could see here inside the tattoo shop. I know that when you go into your animus, you can actually edit your character again, but I didn't bother going in there and looking. I just done the basics through the tattoo shop, and you can change your hairstyle, you can change your tattoos, but you can't really change your build or anything like that. But yeah, very cool. You can be male or female as a Viking, which is quite cool. And yeah, very nice. So customer character, it's enough. It's enough. Another thing I liked is you can take control of a raven, and you can sort of do an aerial flyby of the area and the map. and then you press X to put down markers so you can actually go there. However, it doesn't actually make a sound or do anything. Well, I didn't actually hear one or see one when I pressed X. So I found that I would press X a couple of times and end up putting down stray markers that I didn't really need. But yeah, it's a nice little addition. It's a bit like Game of Thrones, having a warg or something. So it does feel like they've taken little ideas and things and chucked them into this game, which is kind of nice. And it kind of works in a roundabout way. So here I am, putting arrows into people's faces after sort of like scouting the area as a raven. And yeah, it works nicely. You can be a little bit tactical with the way that you go into an encampment. You can plan it all out, and then you can go in there and completely balls it up. In this case, I didn't. I actually took advantage of that. There was only 2 guys, to be fair, and taken them out. Take that, you! In the frickin' eye! Heck yes. Brilliant. So there's things that I really liked, and then there's things that I didn't. These are some of the things I didn't like. So sometimes they would put a marker on your map, and it looks like a runestone there. It looks important! Maybe it's a new ability. But then it says area not available. Well, if the area's not frickin' available, don't put it on my frickin' map. Because yeah, I spent ages climbing up here to get into this waterfall and finding where I needed to go. Really annoying. Okay, so I found that I was chasing my tail a lot of the time. I'd head to one of these markers, it will move. It would go somewhere else, and it would give me some little mini clips or clues as to what I need to do. Not in this freaking case, it didn't. And in a lot of the other cases, it didn't. It was a little bit frustrating. It was a little bit finicky. And it needs some freaking work, in my opinion. Now, although that I said that I like the execution scenes, the lopping off limbs and things like that, fantastic. The little guys, I'm pretty okay with. Boss fights like this, they get near to you, they flash red. Quickly jump out the way. Press square. Negate all damage. Get out the way. They flash yellow. Quickly hit another button to parry or whatever. It just feels like a tried and tested sort of mechanic that has been done to death in every single game going. I mean, I'd say Punch-Out on the Nintendo. The NES, back in the 80s, had better sort of fight mechanics and fun when it came to combat. I mean, that's not fun. And yep, there was a lot of climbing as well. Also, not very fun. Quite tedious, in fact, because sometimes you're climbing up something and you press X to sort of shimmy up quicker and you're holding towards the surface, yet he jumps the other frickin' way. Yep, or the next minute there's a hole in the ground, like a trapdoor, and you're trying to get down there, but he keeps jumping over the frickin' hole and going anywhere but in the hole. It's a pain in the frickin' neck trying to get him to do what you want to do. Or you're scaling the side of a building, you see an open window, you're like, right, I'm going in that building. So you go in there, you press up to go in the window, he jumps and gets on the frickin' roof, and then you can't get back down to actually stick to the actual side of the building. Okay, chums, well, this is my verdict. My verdict is I couldn't get on with this game. It's not for me. And it never really was. This was actually purchased for me by one of my watchers, and I thought I'd give it a try. And I'm not into this. It's like that whole scan thing there. That's done in Red Dead Redemption 2. Everything that we've seen in this game, it brings nothing new to the table, apart from some fantastic looks. But even then, we're now hitting next gen, and we're seeing some great looking games out there anyway, like Ghost of Tsushima. And I would say that this is quite a frustrating play for me. I did not enjoy this, so I'm going to score this rather harshly. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. And yeah, it's just not for me. It's not for me, and would I pay full price for it? Heck no. I'd wait until there is a sale. But yeah, like I say, it's just not my type of game. Well, thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like what you see, please hit a like or a subscribe. And yeah, or you can support my channel through Patreon. Here are all my Patreon backers. Thanking you, Patreon. And I also have YouTube membership. If you want to sign over to YouTube membership, check out my video links in my video description. I also have merch. Grab yourself a fine and dandy pair of socks, a mug or a t-shirt over my merch store. Or I also have Atlas cards that I sometimes have on my eBay store. Check out my video description. So that is the end. Thank you for watching, and please hit a join or a subscribe, or just hit one of these tiles on the screen you see here now. Stay with Captain Steve a bit longer.